Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Teens and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I'm Liz Quinn, your lead Scentsy consultant. So today I have for you a week of what I have been warming, mid-December here, and there are all sorts of amazing smells on this table, and I've definitely got some funny stories for you today. So first off, I want to let you know that this week's mug is brought to you by the fact that I won a contest at church. We had this gingerbread building thing going on at our church. It's a reasonably large church. There were at least 200 to 300 people there, I think. Families having a wonderful time with their graham crackers and their church frosting, my kids call it. And I really didn't set out to do like a better job than anybody else, but I'm not much at building anything with square corners. I made a swan out of the graham crackers and all the frosting and everything, and for whatever reason, in my adult category, I won. So this was part of my winning package, and I thought it was so cool because it went with all of my stuff. So anyway, I'm also melting some gingerbread buttercream in my room today to kind of tie this in with the story, but this is a mug I didn't buy. My creativity brought it into the fold, so to speak, and it was hilarious. So anyway, I never win a darn thing, but I frosted this wonderful, wonderful swan. So let's get started with our first, probably my favorite planned melt for one of the days during this last week. And that was iced pine with a direct mix of sugar cookie. And I love these two together because it knocks down that really, really intense pine, which I like, but some people do not, and it sweetens it up and mellows it out. And then in another warmer, I also, just one because I'm really stingy with it, this warmer right here, my Trim the Tree, I threw in some Simply Vanilla. So let's start with the iced pine sugar cookie mix. So iced pine itself is a really good, truly pine scent. It's got that nice resinous pine quality, reasonably authentic, and then just a kiss of peppermint to keep it from being like too cleaner pine. And this one is very, very hard hitting. It's reasonably long lasting for a pine balsam tree kind of a smell. But when you mix it with our good old brick of sugar cookie, which is just really, really mellow, really, really sweet. This I think is the best vanilla that we currently offer. The two of them together, the vanilla and the pine, just makes the most wonderful, happy, Christmassy scent. And I really, really enjoyed this direct mix. And then, like I said, I'm stingy with my Simply Vanilla. I get it in my bi-monthly, but I put 2 cubes of this in this warmer to amp up the vanilla factor in the house. And it was absolutely lovely. So Simply Vanilla isn't bakery at all. It's just a lovely floral vanilla, good any time of the year, and it's a classic, and it's in my club for a reason. So then another day, I did all sorts of tree scents this week, guys. It was just the week of the trees. I was craving very snowy spruce, which is sweeter. So our ice pine is nice and sharp. It's very, very like outdoorsy tree. This is like what you want trees to smell like, and maybe it's a little bit fake. It's super sweet, and it's got a little bit of amber in it, and it definitely has like a pine cone thing going on. So I thought, and I've heard other consultants say this would be a great pairing. This is just alternate warmers, and it is. Then I'd put that with this month's cinnamon pine cones, which is cinnamon. It's got that same pine cone note, and then it has like a Fraser fir or a balsam. Oh, you guys. So if you just want it to smell like Christmas in your house and you're not afraid of cinnamon, do some warmers with very snowy spruce and some warmers with this gorgeous cinnamon pine cones. You will be all set. You probably won't even need anything else to melt for Christmas season. All right, another day, I decided I wanted to do some of my Blue Christmas, which is a really nice smell. This is a very, to me, old-fashioned and nostalgic Christmas scent. This was in our Scents of the Season, which at the moment is sold out. You could still throw this into your club. So this one has orange peel, it's got fir needles, it's got cloves. It just smells like Grandma's trunk full of Christmas memories. It's absolutely beautiful, and it isn't as strong as it used to be, so I'm liking it more this year. I think that they tweaked the formula just a little bit, so it doesn't like blow you all the way out of the house, and it's so nice. And then Sweet Orange and Evergreen, I just been throwing this in mini warmers all week. 2 things that I wasn't sure when I melted them because I melted them a lot. This one and Very Merry Cranberry. If you want sort of like the Plays Well with Others award, this Sweet Orange and Evergreen is, oh, guys. It's my absolute new favorite, and I've been saying that for 3 months because I love caramel chestnut, I love this, and I love cinnamon pine cones. Of the 3, It's between this and caramel chestnut, my absolute favorite bar, probably of the whole year, hands down, even though I know it's not good for the rest of the season. It's just a couple months, but it's so good. So this is like a whole armful of fresh greenery. And then there is an orange scent in here. Some of the bars that I'm melting now that this has been sitting for a couple months, I'm getting a little bit of that orange, and it is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous, it's gorgeous, it's gorgeous. So if you like evergreen at all, try this. And if you fall in love with it, please put it in your club. Because as a scent of the month, you never know if you're going to get it back. Oh, it's so good. Although people are thinking that that might come back next year. So then, what else was I doing that day? I had the sweet orange and evergreen. I had the blue Christmas alternating warmers. It was very nice and festive in here. And then I don't honestly know what day. And most of the warmers had this because it's a scent. Oh, I know what I was doing with this. I'm missing the clam. The beautiful Homestead Holiday. I was melting this, which is in my club. It's super like country Christmas nostalgic. It's got blood orange and cinnamon stick and fir needle. I was melting this in alternating warmers with farmhouse fir, and I apologize that I do not have the clam. That is another one that's in my club. It's the sweetest and gentlest of all the tree scents that we have. I must have just lost the clamshell. Oh my gosh, those two were so good together. So that was like country Christmas. I did like a different kind of Christmas every day this last week. It was amazing. And then I don't know what else I had going, but in the basement, this poor baby's just sort of wandering around by itself on the table. I did some frosted vanilla. Frosted vanilla is lovely. It's great this time of the year all the way through January, February for me. And it's this beautiful mint, vanilla, smoky birch and woods, not too much smoke, kind of a scent. It's just great for this time of the year. I'm loving this. All right, what else do we have? Ooh, one day I decided I had enough tree, and I went for all the maple sweetness. So I had gotten the 2 bundles of the bakery bars from our Cyber Monday sale. And I was able to just go crazy with a couple of the bakeries that I hoard a little bit because they're only in my club. So I used up a whole thing of butter pecan upstairs, downstairs, and everywhere else. This is such a good scent, you guys. It's so good for fall into the winter. So it's a sweet pecan, buttery, roasty, toasty bakery scent goodness. Oh man, it was all over the house. And then I had to have some maple apple bourbon, mostly in the kitchen. This was fantastic with it because it kind of offsets the pecans with all this maple and apples. And the red apples that are in this, to me, they are very holiday. Not the whole scent itself. This is more of a fall scent. But the apple in here, I think, is one of Scentsi's better winter apple profiles. It's very red and juicy. And then I was doing some maple vanilla glaze, which is a favorite of mine. So all of those together just made it like totally bakery, wonderful fall winter goodness in the house. It was delightful. All right, another day those are later. Another day, which happens to be today, I was doing lots of Be Merry, which is a classic Christmas scent. It's like middle of the road. I think it would be good for most people. It mixes berry and tree beautifully, and it's a little bit fresh, very warm and fruity. It's so, so good. So this is a classic to me. And then just to keep the fruitiness going in the house, I was using the very Merry Cranberry, which is mostly cranberry and a little bit of cedar. Like, if you wanted to just have a safe scent for all your company, I think Very Merry Cranberry would not offend a single person, and it's beautiful. But it's a really good support for Be Merry. So then, in the back room, it's getting colder, so I'm not really in my Florida room all that much. So every couple days now I'm changing my wax. So the first thing that I was doing this week out there was Cranberry Orange Cider, which is in our Christmas holiday trio right now. So is the Maple Vanilla Glaze. Oh, this is so good, you guys. I think I have 1 bar in my quarterly because the more that I melt it, especially during the Christmas season, I'm realizing that I like it. It can go a little bit bubblegum for me. So it's got the orange, a very gentle spice, and then a lot of cranberry, but it's really good. And rather like the Very Merry Cranberry, and you could do those two together in the house in different places too. Very company worthy. This one's just mellow and good, and the orange in it is beautiful. So those, I think, are very much clubbable. So as December will wind down into January. There are a lot of LTOs that will probably be going away. We always get a list at the end of the month, but we've had all of our fall harvest trio type bars, a lot of our fall LTOs, and then the November into December LTOs. If you are thinking about either stocking up or clubbing any of these really season specific scents, keep an eye on retirement or going away dates. So, like the Season of Magic is one of my favorite Disney bars. I've only got half a clam left, and I wasn't able to order anymore because it was out of stock, so that's coming in my last club shipment for December. That is one where I'm right on the border between clubbing or just getting a few. This year I chose just to get a few because as a licensed bar, it will probably come back, but if you love that, I would throw that in your club. If you love Cranberry Orange Cider, throw that in your club. If you love Sweet Orange and Evergreen, throw it in your club. If there's anything from our brick collection, especially if you're disappointed that you couldn't get maraschino sugar cookie, throw that thing in your club. Or if you don't have a club and you want some bars of some of those hard to get items like our Scenspirations, which just every time it's in stock, it's like gone. Do one club order, make sure it's processed and shipped, and then just cancel it. And it is just, to me, the best and safest and most secure way to know that the scents that you love will be able to keep coming back to you, because especially for this holiday limited time offer window, you just never know if you're going to see them again. So I personally definitely have put a ton of this year's Christmas, more Christmas than fall this year, into my club. So that's a rabbit trail, but let's keep going. What else was I doing? So after the Cranberry Orange Cider for a couple of days, I've got some Icicles and Evergreen that has been kind of circulating, and I'm liking this bar more this year than I did last year when it came out. There's a sweetness and an apple note to the sort of almost a smoldery evergreen. They say that it's got sugar crystals and eucalyptus. I don't get any eucalyptus. I get just nice, kind of happy mellow greens with all that apple and all that sugar, and it's really, really pretty. So, and then I was just kind of needing a little bit of a change. I know Linda H., this is like her favorite scent ever, so I had Toasted Acorn and Oat going in the back, and I was thinking of her. Oh, it's so, so, so nice. This is a bar that January and February I will melt a lot of. This was one of our Harvest Trio LTOs last year, and it's in the catalog this year. This is one where if you fall in love with it, just club it. I doubt we'll see it again next year unless it's a really good seller, but I will be keeping this baby in my club. And then I did skip over a pairing that I was doing in the front room. I asked my husband one day, honey, which of our pine tree type scents, I've got a whole box of them, had him smell them all, would you like for today? And I think he just didn't know we had this one. He fell in love with Black Forest Pine, which is another in my club. It was last year's December LTO scent of the month. Oh, this is so good, you guys. So it's got pepper tangerine, smoked vanilla, or the other way around, I can't remember, and lots of deep, dark woods. And I wanted to take the vanilla and do more with that, so I added some vitamin R to some of the warmers in the back half of the house, not the Florida room, but like the dining room. Oh my gosh, those were so good together. So Relax is a little bit more spots, a little bit more fresh, but it was very good with the Black Forest Pine. They played well together, so that was a good combination. So then, aside from upstairs, main area, and Florida room, what were we getting through? In the basement, I dug out my brick of spiced eggnog. Now, spiced eggnog, I think, was sort of the wonder brick of last season for most people. I prefer this year's crop of seasonal bricks to last year's, except for my sweet orange pomander, which I love and nobody else does. But the spiced eggnog was what most people absolutely fell in love with. I feel like it's quite strong, and it's just a bar, or brick in this case, that I like it, but I didn't love it enough to take up space in my club. So I still have half of a brick. So I had some of this in the basement. I'll probably do another couple chunks sometime in the next couple weeks. It's really, really good. But when I think of eggnog, I think of creamy vanilla and nutmeg. And what I'm getting out of this is more like egg custard plus the booze. So, it's nice. I don't absolutely love it. And I know other consultants will totally contradict me because this was everybody's favorite last year. And I am surprised it didn't come back in the catalog. I will say that, because it was so popular. But what else was I warming downstairs? I was getting through some of the butter pecan that I was already talking about upstairs. This was really good. It was good with the spiced eggnog and different warmers. And because I got that bakery bundle, toasted marshmallow, which I also hoard because anytime that I give away retired bars, everybody wants toasted marshmallow. So I'm almost always out. Oh, it's so good, you guys. So the malt and the vanilla and the marshmallow, and it was so good. And I had that with cedar cider. I had some cedar cider upstairs and downstairs, depending on the day. I think I was melting this also with the cinnamon pine cones and the very snowy spruce, because this bar, I used to just do this for fall, but this year I'm just feeling it all through the Christmas season. This is such a good, deep, woodsy apple and cedar and a little bit of spice. I'm just loving this bar this year. Okay, what were we doing in bedrooms? My younger daughter wanted something completely outside of the Christmas loop, and I shut her door because I wasn't liking it mixing with my Christmas. This is a Yankee scent, and you're seeing a lot of Yankee this particular month because that's kind of when I get my stash out, because most of them are holiday smells. So this is lemon and lavender, and whew! To me, it's kind of like a sweet tart. It's super strong. It's really nice. I'll be doing more of this kind of thing like January, February, March, but that's what she was in the mood for today. Older daughter was doing some pretty in plaid and sort of blowing the rest of us out of the water. This is so strong. This is wintergreen and cranberry and like really deep soapy pine. It's nice, but it is so assertive that it's not my favorite. Then another day, which happens to be today, we were trying out the North Calls. I did get a small haul this weekend that honestly, guys, I just did not have the energy to film. So you'll just be seeing a few of the Disney bars and some other things popping up in my what I've been warming. But this is very, very pretty. I did not get any of the Frozen 2 things when they came out originally as a whole package. There's some sort of an autumn one that was more featuring Anna than Elsa that I wish I had been able to smell. But this is beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to club it, but I think if I had to compare this and the new Snow White bar, I probably like this a little better. This is like very light lily, nothing too assertive, and a little bit of marine water and something else in here, and it is really gorgeous. It's light, but I think it'll be a fabulous, relaxing winter smell. Very, very good. Okay, now in my room, I dropped some stuff. Hang on. I always do this. Ugh. One day, I decided to try out White Amber and Silk again. I'm not going to buy any more of this. It performed much better this time. Early on in new release evaluation, I was complaining more about performance. Now, I just haven't fallen in love with the smell. I will say, though, if they decide to bring this out in laundry, I think I'd like it on my clothes. It's just cotton and a little bit of, amber. It's nice, but it doesn't pull on my heartstrings like Jammy Time, and it doesn't wow me like some of our other sort of fresh cologne smells. And then another day, I did love this, and I wish I could get more. From our bakery bundle, this Mix-It Spun Sugar and Vanilla. Wow. I loved it. It was so warm. Just this beautiful, warm, light, fluffy scent. I don't even have a perfect way to describe this. There was definitely vanilla. There was definitely warmth in a sugary way, but it was great, and I loved it in my room. So I've got one other full bar plus this. It's sort of in the pink haze sugar territory, but I think I might even like that better than sugar. And pink haze is really, really good, but that is fantastic too. And then just to keep reevaluating, because I'm trying to figure out whether I want to leave them in my club or not. Caramel buttercream, I did that yesterday. It's so pretty, but I'm gonna use these, the Scentspirations, mostly as a bedroom or basement scent. Because they don't throw worth beans, but they are so beautiful in a small space. So I really enjoyed the sweetness of this caramel. Now I have to debate with myself, is this good enough that I would leave it in my club or not? And then the other one, which will probably win out for keeping, is the gingerbread buttercream, which I put in for today partly so I could justify telling you my silly I won the gingerbread contest, just the adult portion, at my church by making this graham cracker frosting coated swan thing. It was hilarious. And then the other thing about that was that one of my friends sat down at the table with me, and I mean, I'm just me, you guys. I like to craft, I like to be creative, but I don't know. I don't think I'm all that. And she's like, I shouldn't sit at the table with you because you're going to do something spectacular. I'm like, it's graham crackers and frosting, you guys. And I still don't think it was all that spectacular, but little kids came by and they're like, oh, look, Mommy, she made us one. And it is so much fun to use your creativity to bless other people. It's just whatever your God-given gifts are, you guys, don't be selfish with them. Give them to the people around you to be a blessing. That is why God gives us whatever we have, so that we can give it away. And there's so much blessing in that. And it was such a fun evening. My kids had a blast too. So anyway, back to gingerbread buttercream. I think because there's a little more complexity in this, that I will keep this in my club, partly to see how it cures. And I love the caramel buttercream because it is so smooth, but I don't know. One of these will stay, one of these will go. I'm not sure which is leaving. But this is also just very pretty, and I love this combined with, I'm not going to come up with the name. It's our caramel one, Caramel Vanilla Delight from the summer. These two and alternate warmers in my basement were fabulous. So that is everything that I've been getting through. I hope that you guys are having a good middle of the road, like middle of the December, not too stressful, not too crazy holiday season. By next week, I'll be baking cookies and trying to remember where I hid all the presents that are all over the house so my kids don't find them. But really, it's Mommy that doesn't find them. So this is Elizabeth with Elizabeth Scenes and Scents. God bless. Merry Christmas season. Don't lose your mind. Just go find your peace. Go find your peace. Find a place of quiet. And I'll see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.